A wealthy patron's reckless kiss at the restaurant where I waitress disrupted both our lives. But we embarked on a journey of self-discovery and forgiveness as I pondered, could we truly leave behind our past for a fresh start? In the bustling Starlight Bistro, amidst the vibrant Friday energy, Andy stood out at a corner table with his friends. I could see him while walking through tables with ease, a tray of drinks balanced on my hand. "I dare you to do something, anything. Let's make this night legendary," Andy boasted. "Anything? You sure you're up for it, Andy?" Brandon smirked. "Try me," Andy confidently retorted. Their gaze settled on me. "See the waitress over there? The one with the dark hair? I dare you to go up to her and kiss her in front of everyone," Brandon challenged. Before I could react, Andy approached and suddenly kissed me. Shocked and violated, I pushed him away and slapped him. "What do you think you're doing?" I yelled. Andy stumbled back, apologizing, caught off guard by the seriousness of his actions. Before I could react, Mr. Walters, our manager, intervened. "What's going on here?" he demanded. "This man just kissed me without my consent, and I slapped him," I explained quickly. "She slapped me, right in front of everyone, and he tried to blame me. Mr. Walters decided against me. Trisha, we can't have our staff reacting violently, no matter the provocation." "But it wasn't my fault," I protested. "I don't want to hear it. Gather your things, you're done here," he dismissed me. Humiliated, I packed my belongings. Just then, Andy started choking. Acting on instinct, I performed the Heimlich maneuver, saving him. Meanwhile, the bistro erupted in applause. "Wait, please," Andy gasped after catching his breath. "You saved my life, I owe you. Anything you want, I'll grant it. 3 wishes, I said. "That's what I want. 3 wishes, then. If I'm able, I'll make them come true," Andy agreed, wiping tears of gratitude off his face. The first wish had been brewing in my mind for months. Like my colleagues at the restaurant, I was tired of my horrible boss, the deteriorating working conditions of the place, and the terrible work culture that had made our lives a living hell. The place needed a revamp, and a wealthy owner who wouldn't shy away from giving us basic benefits and treat us right. And Andy, this wealthy young man asking to fulfill my wishes, could be just the person. "Done. What's the second?" Andy responded after barely a second of thought. That was totally unexpected. But I couldn't look all tongue-tied, not in front of this man. He may have suddenly turned kind and apologetic, but I wasn't going to let him off so easily. So I quickly gathered myself and stated my next demand. "For 1 month, you will work here as a waiter. You'll experience what it's like from the other side of the table. As for my third wish, I'll save that for later," I outlined my conditions. "It's a deal," Andy agreed, marking the beginning of a new understanding between us. The transformation at Starlight Bistro began days after Andy's promise. Quickly, he made me the manager and began his stint as a waiter. One day, while the staff watched him in amusement, Lauren, Andy's ex-girlfriend, arrived and filmed him working. She was clearly enjoying his discomfort. I approached her with firmness. "This isn't a show," I told her. "It's Andy's commitment to making things right. Filming him without permission is not only disrespectful but against our policy. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. You can't be serious. Do you know who I am?" Lauren retorted. "I know exactly who you are," I responded. "And right now, you're a guest causing a disturbance in this establishment. Please leave, or I will be forced to take further action." After Lauren left, Andy thanked me. "It's not about you," I replied. As weeks passed, Andy's commitment turned heads. Regulars and new patrons alike were drawn by his story of restitution. His genuine warmth and attention to detail made him popular among guests. One evening, I watched him laughing genuinely with patrons, reflecting on the change in his behavior and my perception of him. "Trisha, you're staring at him. Stop," teased Maria, a waitress. "Just making sure everything runs smoothly," I lied, my feelings complex, caught between admiration and a lingering sense of our past conflict. Later that day, as the bistro closed, Andy approached me. "Trisha," he called out, "do you have a minute?" I nodded, ready to discuss whatever was on his mind as we stepped outside into a light, refreshing rain. "I've been doing a lot of thinking," Andy took a deep breath. "I want to continue working here," Andy proposed, eager to help grow the business. "Together, I think we can build this into a very successful business." "Andy, that's a big decision." "Are you sure?" I asked, recognizing his sincerity. "I've never been more sure about anything," he affirmed, determined to learn and grow at the bistro. I agreed, touched by his commitment. "All right, let's see what we can build together." His smile in return was all the confirmation I needed that we were stepping into a new chapter, one filled with promise and the possibility of redemption. One evening, our smooth operations were interrupted by an irate customer who, displeased with her meal, humiliatingly dumped her spaghetti over Andy's head. In a moment of empathy and leadership, I stood up for Andy, insisting the woman leave for her disrespectful behavior. "Mom, I'm going to have to ask you to leave," I declared firmly. "We do not tolerate this kind of behavior towards our staff." The customer left in a huff. Meanwhile, I offered Andy a napkin. The poor guy didn't say a word. "Are you okay?" I asked Andy, who managed a wry smile despite the ordeal. "I've had better days," he replied. This incident reinforced our team's unity and reshaped our approach to customer service. Mr. Walters, my horrible ex-boss who was demoted but retained, was moved by this incident. Previously, he was a staunch advocate for the customer is always right policy, but he had now joined us in a discussion about standing up for our staff. "From now on, we defend our staff and our dignity," he resolved, marking a new chapter in managing our customer relationships and ensuring our team's welfare. "Thank you, Mr. Walters. And thank you, Trisha. I really appreciate it," Andy expressed, grateful for the support and the new direction we were headed. As we emerged from the back, the bistro seemed brighter, the atmosphere lighter. Mr. Walters' defense of Andy, in contrast to his earlier adherence to outdated policies, marked a significant shift in management attitude. Late one evening, Lauren unexpectedly returned to the Starlight Bistro, visibly intoxicated and dressed in bridal mockery. She entered the kitchen where Andy and I were discussing our duties. "Look at this happy little workplace. Thought you could replace me that easily, Andy?" she slurred sarcastically. Andy remained composed. "Lauren, this isn't the time or place," he calmly stated. "Oh, I think it's the perfect time," Lauren retorted, staggering and turning her scorn towards me. Manager forced waitress to serve leftovers to foreign customer. Life taught him a lesson immediately. Man bursts into his boss's office after learning he spreads rumors about his wife. "My 7-year-old son kept coming home from school upset. The reason left me stunned. Her attempt to humiliate us backfired. Instead of driving a wedge, it reinforced the solidarity between Andy and me." When security arrived to remove her, her actions had unexpectedly solidified our bond. After she was escorted out, Andy apologized for her intrusion. "I'm sorry about her," he said. I never wanted my past to intrude on what we're building here. It's not your fault, Andy. What matters is how we handle it, together, I reassured him, acknowledging our strengthened partnership. Together, Andy agreed, appreciating the environment we had cultivated. What we're doing here feels right. Like him finally where I'm supposed to be. I smiled, reaching out to squeeze his hand. I feel the same. We've both had our share of missteps, but they've led us here, to this moment. And I wouldn't change a thing. In light of the recent events and the support from Mr. Walters, the dynamics at the bistro had changed significantly. We were no longer just colleagues, we had grown into a close-knit community supportive of one another. Reflecting on these changes, Mr. Walters joined us, commending the positive growth before shifting his focus to my last wish. Trisha, you still have one wish left? Have you given any thought to what it might be? I have, I said and took a deep breath. What I wish for is a new beginning. A chance for Andy and me to step away from the past, from the conflicts and pressures that shaped our initial encounters. Mr. Walters nodded, encouraging me to continue. I wish for us to go away together for a few days, I began. Mr. Walters approved warmly. That's a beautiful wish, Trisha. Consider it done. I'll take care of the bistro while you're away. Andy expressed his gratitude, moved by the opportunity for us to start afresh. Thank you, Trisha. For everything. It's not how I imagined my life turning out, but now, I can't picture it any other way. As we planned our tropical getaway, I was filled with anticipation for a future unburdened by past mistakes. A future where Andy and I could explore our relationship in a new setting, free from the echoes of our previous conflicts. Spending time together away from the bistro proved to be very fruitful for our relationship. That trip marked the beginning of our newfound relationship built on nothing but love, respect, and trust. Tell us what you think about this story, and share it with your friends. It might inspire them and brighten their day.